Hello everyone, welcome to the Introduction to PHP series. This is Suhail from the itstuff.com. In the last video I talked about what PHP is and how PHP works. In this video I'm going to show you how to install PHP in Windows operating system. I'm going to use Windows 10. So if you're using Windows 7, 8 or 8.1 you can follow this video. But if you're using Linux, then wait. In the next video I'm going to show you how to install PHP in the Linux based operating systems. So follow along with me and see how we can install PHP in our Windows operating system. Before I talk about the installation process, let's talk about the important software that we need to make a PHP environment. Besides PHP, we also need a couple of different software such as a web server, a MySQL server or database server, and an FTP client. A web server is a simple program that sits on your computer and listens to the user's request, HTTP request, and based on those requests, the server processes the information and transfer or sends the data back to the user, right? To sell it back to the user. So at the end of the day, finally, the user has the output. He doesn't see any code at all. What he has in the last is the output in HTML form. So this is what the web server does, and it's important, it's must to install a web server. Without web server, no code will run, no function will run, and the code will not execute. If you try to open a PHP template, it will exactly be the same as you type the code in the text editor. The code will not execute in the browser because there is no PHP interpreter in the web server. So what a web server interprets the PHP code, right? It has the PHP module and it converts the code in the language that you want, in the human language, so we can finally get the results. And what a database system is, the database system is actually optional, but I think the database system is must in all modern web applications. For example, to create any sign-in or sign-up functionality which we have in all modern applications, we will require to have a database. Without database system, you cannot create any login or logout or sign up function. And this is not just one. And then we have several other applications or that we need to actually create a full PHP environment. We can have an FTP client which helps us to transfer the localhost or local files to a web hosting company, right? So this is it, but it's optional, it's completely optional. But the MySQL web server, the web server is not optional. We have to install the web server. So we can how we can all install this? We can either go to all the website and we can download the code one by one and we can compile them to install, or we can have just one package and have it all the packages that we need, and then we can install that just one package and it will install everything that we need. For example, and one of the packages we have is the XAMPP. And there are many. XAMPP is a popular one, and we have been using it for, I have been using it for years. XAMPP stands for cross-platform, A stands for Apache, which is one of the most popular web server, M stands for MySQL or MariaDB, and MySQL actually, and then P stands for PHP. It's very simple to install. It's just like installing any other web application, or any other software in Windows machine. Like in all software, what you do, you click next, choose a couple of options and finally hit finish, and that's all. So this is what we will be doing in this installation process. We'll be just downloading one package and we'll install it in our system, and that's it. So let's go and see how we can do it. So here I am in my laptop, and the first thing we'll do is we'll open up our browser and type XAMPP. And here we are. Here we have the official website, apachefriends.org/download.html, and here we have the 3 packages for Windows users. If you're on Linux, these are the Linux packages, but these Windows packages, we have got 3 packages, which has this version has 5.6.31 version of PHP, and this has 7.0.21, and this one is 7.1.7. Which I always use is this one. I already have had it installed, so I am just doing it once again for the purpose of this tutorial, this video. So if I download this one, you can download any one of these, but I think this one is because it's the latest one. This is an old one, 5.6.31. so I've already installed it. So let me just cancel the download. I've already it on my desktop. Here I have, and now run it. It's very simple. As I mentioned, this is like installing any other application. So double click it, and you will have a couple of errors. First of all, not errors, these are the messages. As it says, it seems you have an antivirus running. In some cases it may slow down or interfere the installation of the software. Please read the following link to learn more about this. So no problem, just continue with installation. In most cases this works. Important, because an activated user account UAC on your system some function of XAMPP are possibly restricted. Hit OK, and now you have the setup. So click next, and now we have these many packages available in this one package. So as you can see that we have I talked about MySQL, which we have here. I talked about FileZilla, FTP client we have here, and I also talked about Apache, which is this one. So you can actually ignore these, this Perl, because it's a different programming language that we don't need in this video. And I do need, PHP, my admin will need it to manage our databases, and will need these many as well. So just hit next, and this is an important step. This is very important step. You need to select this your installation directory very carefully. Save it on the place where you think it's never going to be deleted. If it's deleted, then all of your project folders will be gone. So I always suggest you to save it in C, or the place where you have you take backup often. You often back up that software, that directory, so you save it there. By default this saves in this is saved in XAMPP, C and XAMPP. So this is good, right? I always use this place, as it's I never delete it. But if you save it on desktop, so this is more likely to be deleted with other files, right? So never save it on the desktop. So click next. And one more thing which I'll be talking about, this XAMPP folder, very important thing, just in a minute. So close this, and it's ready to install. So the installation is in process. So as I said, the XAMPP folder is very important, because XAMPP is a folder where will be containing all of our project files. So for example, if you are creating a social networking site, so the first thing we will be starting with, our development with, is we'll be creating first folder of our projects. Let's say if our website or web application name is example, so we'll create a folder called example in the XAMPP, in the directory called htdocs in the XAMPP. So then we'll have all those project files in the htdocs example folder, in the project folder, and which is very important. If you want to access or save your folders anywhere besides that htdocs, you won't be able to access those project files from the browser. And if you open it directly in the browser won't recognize it as PHP file, and it won't execute any code in the browser. So this is important thing. It often happens that people ask why the code is not executing. This is the reason why it happens. They try to open it directly in the browser, which never works. So here we are done with the installation. It is asking me, do you want to start the control panel now? Okay, I want, and finish. So wait for a moment, and there you go. We have the language selection. My language is English. I don't want this one. I have, though if you want you can. So there you go. we have the control panel, and as you can see we have all the important things here. The first is the Apache. It is a web server, so as you can already guess, the web server will need to start it when we start our development, and we also need to start this the MySQL server if we are going to execute some database queries, send our queries to database. So we'll also need to start this one, and we need these this file. The line will not require these two as of in this video or in this series, I guess. So because this is a basic one, I'll not be covering that much information in this series, but well, for you new noobs, it's very helpful. So it's just a starting because. So first we'll start the Apache web server, and as you can see, this is showing me the PID of the and at the port, right? And then again we'll start the MySQL, which I will not need this because I'm not gonna create a database in this video. It's just one example. So if you see this green background behind this, this green background of the software, which means that everything is working fine. But sometimes it happens that because of the firewall you have on your system, this shows red, which means there's something that is blocking this software running properly. So in that case, you need to go and check what is the problem, and you can do that by checking your logs. So you can check your logs here, right? You can check all your logs here and see what actually happened or what actually caused the problem. So everything is ready now. So the first thing we need to check everything is working fine is open the next new tab in the browser, and visit localhost and hit enter, and there you go. We have the XAMPP heading here, and this is Apache fronts page. So if you are watching this page, it means everything is working fine and you are ready to go. So you are ready to run the PHP code in your directory, in your pages. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go in the C directory and in the XAMPP folder. And as I mentioned, in the XAMPP folder we have a folder called htdocs. So here we have all our project files. So as you can see, this is the dashboard. This is the folder which we are watching here, right? Dashboard. So if you edit anything here, it's going to affect this web page, right? Okay, so leave this one as it is. We don't need this. We don't need to do this. So we'll create a new folder called example. This is a example project. So this is example folder, and in here we will be having all of our project files. So now to access this folder files, let's create another file here called test.php. And okay, so now I'm not going to type anything here at the moment. Let's let's access this example test file. So we'll say example /test.php, and that's it. So you don't have any error, which means everything is working fine. So now go here and open it in the text editor. I have Sublime installed. It's awesome. In the next video I'll talk about code editors. So I'll give you a list of a bunch of code editors or text editors which you can choose, and these are very easy to work with, and you can have your hands on these software, and you'll find very easy to use or very easy to code and comfortable to program in PHP. So this is how we start the PHP tags, as I mentioned in my first video. So you first of all type angle and the greater than sign, less than sign, and then the question mark and PHP. This is the opening tag. This means that oops, my mobile is ringing. Okay, I've got a new message, by the way. I'll check it later. So PHP tag here, and then I have the closing tag. So this way the server knows that this is not the the common text. It's going to have now from this tag the whatever text we are going to have, it will be in PHP. So browser handles it that way. So now let's echo out some text. Let's say hello world, and also echo out a heading. Let's make this one a heading, h1 heading, and so it should give us a heading called hello world. So reloading this page will give us hello world. So that's it. So if you right click this hello world, and inspect the element, you will see this is the heading tag h1 heading, and we have hello world here, but we don't have those PHP tags in here. So which means that this is giving us the result, not the the PHP tags. So now this means everything is working, and no echo, nothing on the web page, just the hello world. So it means everything is working fine, and we are ready to code in PHP. So that's it for now. If you want to test out a couple of things for initial testing, you can create some variable and you can test it out like this, and you can echo out the username. I mean, these many things. We'll be talking about the variables in our later videos, so don't worry. I'll be covering the variables in detail in another video, so don't worry, you should not confuse you. So that's all we have for now. In the next video, I'll be talking about the the code editors for the PHP environment, and it's the one I'm using at the moment, the Sublime. It works in almost all cases. It has the auto completion. It has almost everything that you need to code very rapidly, very fast. It's it's a great one. So you can use this one, or you can also use Atom. Well, by the way, I'll talk in another video about the code editor for your PHP environment. So for now it's all, and if you like this video, share this video with your friends on social media, and subscribe this channel.